snow in parts of the area tomorrow. I want to go through the timeline and talk about how much to expect in your area next.
Just as a canine was adding new hope to the search for a missing Louisville mom, now there's a new problem in the case. Why the canine search team says they're now out $3,000.
We want to get right to a WDRB news alert. Governor Matt Bevin has just announced he's asking for a recanvass of last night's election results. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Elizabeth Woolsey.
And I'm Gilbert Coursey. The race between incumbent Bevin and challenger Andy Beshear down to just a 5,000 vote difference.
Here is a look at the numbers. Beshear is up by just 5,086 votes. He has 709,846 votes to Bevin's 704,760. The race still has not officially been called. Bevin is now asking the state to take a closer look at the election.
Meanwhile, Andy Beshear is already talking about transitioning to governor. WDRB's Lawrence Smith was there as Beshear laid out his plans for when he takes office. Lawrence?
Well, despite the coming recanvass, Beshear is preparing to become governor. He appointed his Deputy Attorney General, J. Michael Brown, as his transition chair. A clear signal that Beshear is not waiting for Governor Bevin to give up the race.
Kentucky's new governor-elect, Andy Beshear.
Andy Beshear's team making clear there is no doubt about who won the election.
Last night, the election ended. It ended, and it's time to move forward.
Attorney General Beshear saying the transition to his new capital office begins now, regardless of whether Governor Matt Bevin concedes the race.
We're confident in the outcome of the election.
But Bevin apparently not so confident. The governor Tuesday night calling for a closer look at the numbers.
We want the process to be followed, and there is a process. We know for a fact that there have been more than a few irregularities.
But Beshear says he is not aware of any problems with the vote.
Whatever process that the governor chooses to go down, it's not going to change this overall number of votes.
Even members of Bevin's own party urging the governor to quickly make his case. Representative Jason Nemes posting on social media, the governor should state his claim immediately and let the evidence be reviewed. But this is not an opportunity for a fishing expedition or a chance to overturn the election result. Nemes even referring to Beshear as governor-elect.
It's time to come together and to get to work.
Beshear says he's getting to work on an agenda that includes an education-friendly budget and rescinding Bevin's attempt to impose work requirements on some Medicaid recipients.
That budget's going to be absolutely critical in its support of public education and of health care.
And Beshear confident he can work with Republicans who hold supermajorities in both the House and Senate.
And part of that is changing the tone, which is what we're doing here today. It's not constantly going after each other. You know, the politics part of this is over.
Once again, Governor Bevin officially asking for a recanvass is scheduled for next Thursday. He is holding a news conference in Frankfort in less than 1 hour. You can watch that right here on WDRB and WDRB.com. Lawrence Smith, WDRB News.
Okay, Lawrence, thanks. So let's unpack this. The question for many folks at home may be, what exactly is a recanvass?
WDRB's Jessica Bard explains that process and why a recount won't happen.
A tight race Tuesday leaves few scenarios post-election. A recanvass is scheduled for November 14th.
And this is basically just a recheck of the machines. You're not recounting the ballots themselves, but you're again just checking the machine totals.
A swing of 5,000 votes would be shocking, according to UK law professor Josh Douglas. The election would be certified as of November 25th. The next step could be to contest the election in the state legislature.
The governor would have to submit a written contest which states the grounds for contesting the election.
The legislature would pick a committee of 11 members, 8 from the House and 3 from the Senate, selected randomly.
And those 11 would sit as a committee to judge the election contest, would take evidence, would hear arguments, and then file a report for the full General Assembly to consider. And then ultimately it'd be up to the General Assembly to make a final determination.
Governor Bevin claimed irregularities in the election Tuesday, although what they are is unclear.
I have no idea what he's talking about. There's been no evidence whatsoever. I found Election Day yesterday to be pretty quiet, actually.
The last time there was a gubernatorial election contest was in 1899, according to Douglas.
And the Kentucky laws are very complicated on this. There is a statute that provides for recounts, but it actually, if we look at the cross-reference to another statute, exempts gubernatorial elections from that recount process. So there actually is no provision for a recount.
Jessica Bard, WDRB News.
Our breakdown of the governor's race continues in our next half hour. At 4:30, we sit down with the woman in charge of all state elections, Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes. She explains what happens next.
Moving on to some other news today, a semi-truck crashes on the Kennedy Bridge, causing a backup. Here's a look at the crash after it happened about 12:45 this afternoon. MetroSafe says the truck hit a wall on I-65 south on the bridge, spilling the grease it was carrying all over the other lanes. At least one person was hurt. The crash initially closed the entire southbound side, but crews have since reopened 2 lanes. It's expected to take at least another 2 hours to fully reopen the southbound side of the bridge.
Mark Weinberg's WDRB weather forecast has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological